Hey Nathan, how you doing?
What's up? I'm fantastic, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just recently went to record with Nathan Collins and his studio called Diamond Studios, his recording studio, and yeah, his everything that he's been doing recently has been super interesting to me, and I thought it would be cool if I could have him on the show, and he agreed to do that, and I'm super excited. So, thank you for joining me. Before I get into asking you some of this stuff, would you care to introduce yourself and kind of give a little bit of a rundown on who you are?
My name is Nathan Collins. I am 24 years old. I am an overly ambitious entrepreneur. I love music, and I have a massive, massive passion for not only making my dreams happen, but striving to make other people's happen. That's basically me in a nutshell.
So, what got you to the idea of creating Diamond Studios? Like, what led up to the process of like going, all right, I want to make my own recording studio? Like, were you an art like a independent artist before that? Were you? Because I'm pretty sure you were making moves in the industry from a pretty young age, and I was going to say exactly what you just said. You seem very ambitious, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
so what kind of led up to where you are currently and what you guys are doing right now?
So when I was 17, I moved out of my parents' house. I moved to Macon, and I drove from Macon back to my hometown to like finish school. So I did graduate high school barely,
Mhm.
um, but so I moved out when I was 17. I started got a job at PetSmart first because I had to get on my feet. After, I took the money that I was making there, I saved up what I could, bought some equipment, started a production company out there. Long story short, I just started making connections. I started doing shows for other local musicians. I was a musician for hire. I played 13 total instruments.
Oh
And
wow.
at that time, I think I only played about 10. I was really diverse. So like if anybody was looking for a bass player, guitar player, trumpet, whatever, I was the guy to call. This whole time I was working on my craft of like producing beats. So I started selling instrumentals to local artists. One thing led to another. I wound up getting signed to a record label when I was 18.
Wow.
I got signed to a year deal. I dropped that deal to take another year deal when I was 19. I'm a big picture person. So, like, when I'm involved in things, I zoom out and I look at the grand scale of everything else. Being signed to record labels, I zoomed out, and instead of being focused in on one opportunity, I sat in these rooms with all these great people, and I started looking at them and I was like, I can find a way to make this better. I started looking at like how studio managers were managing studio, their relationship with their employees, and everything. And I started just observing everything. Fast forward a few years, I moved out to, I wound up in Florida for a little bit, and outside of Atlanta, really picked up the music stuff after life hit, and I couldn't do the music stuff as intentionally as I wanted to for a little bit. This is after a record deal. Um, I didn't take another deal so that I could take a worship leading position down in Alabama, and that fell through. And I just wound up like living life for a solid year and a half.
Okay.
But yeah, I just decided to bring everything back up home where I was from. I took myself back to the times where I was signed, and I observed everyone. And here I am in a small town, Toccoa, Georgia, where dreams are a rare thing. Everybody here is just like floating through life, and it kind of pisses me off. So I was like, nah, this has got to change. So I decided to plan a studio right here and see how many dreams we could make come true. So that's pretty much where it came from.
So Diamond Studios started pretty small, right?
Yeah.
How long has Diamond Studios been around for?
On this day, October 7th, 2021, we've been around for a year and 3 months.
Year and 3 months. So in just around a little over a year, you have kind of filled a void in Toccoa, exactly what you were just talking about,
Yeah.
and brought
Yeah.
dozens upon dozens of independent artists together. And you and your team have cultivated this community and have become big enough that, if I'm not mistaken, the city asked you to book their harvest festival. Like you're getting
Yeah.
noticed, and it's
Yeah.
it's really it's really cool. And you guys have hosted your own concerts
Oh yeah.
recently. You've gone from being just like a recording studio to also like offering lessons as well, and starting your own podcast, and hosting other people's podcasts, and just doing all types of stuff. When you first started, did you ever think that this would happen, like that you'd get this far or be doing this many things?
That's a great question. Um, and honestly, this is so weird to be on this side of things because I'm typically on the interviewing side. But very interesting question. The short answer is yes. So it might sound a little conceited, but the short answer to that is yes. Simply because the vision that I've had for Diamond Studios is ridiculously big. Um, it is something that is way bigger than myself. Um, Now, I think a very appropriate question is, did I know how I was going to do it? No, I had no idea. Um, it was just more of like, I'm just going to dive into this head first. I'm going to give everything that I have. I'm going to empty my bank account, empty my savings. I'm going to sell whatever I have to sell just to start this up. And I'm just going to do it.
And it's
So our mission here is literally to flip the perspective of a whole community by achieving the impossible.
and that is
So,
you have been achieving that. It's
thank
crazy.
you, thank you,
It's crazy.
thank you.
Do you so you first got the idea to start Diamond Studios just from like examining the industry from the inside, kind of, and thinking to yourself, this could be done better. And then, like, was there like a specific moment where you were like, all right, this is what needs to be done in order to, progress my craft and move ahead and do what I want to do? Or was it just kind of like a thing that slowly came into focus over time?
I don't know. I've always struggled with like doing things the normal way. Um, so like with that being said, I've always struggled with doing a regular job the regular way. Like so for instance, I got a job like the first job I mentioned earlier was with PetSmart.
Yep.
And I kind of reinvented how they did things, made it I made it more efficient, and it
That's
actually
awesome.
wound up it actually wound up being the way that the store started to run things. And they gave me like some award for it or whatever. But few years later, I got a job at an eyeglass world and as a lab technician.
Wow.
And I'm totally unqualified to do that, but whatever. Um, like things just fell in place, and I got the job, and I reinvented that as well. So like, there's this is awful. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to. There's a certain way you have to do things, especially in that world, because it's math and science related. But I got in there and realized that there's a more efficient way to do that, and I got in there, I did it, and I actually wound up reshaping how that district did their eyeglasses. I wound up training the lab manager, the store manager, and the district manager on how to do um, my way.
Which was for a
So,
thing that you consider yourself to be completely unqualified for. And
oh
now
yeah,
you're
totally, yeah,
and now
yeah,
you're
yeah,
taking that, I guess, drive, initiative, ambition,
yeah.
and kind of inventiveness, I guess, and looking for more efficient ways to do things that maybe were blocked off by red tape before.
Oh,
You're
totally, yeah,
taking that and applying it to a field that you've been working in your whole adult life, really, being a musician or being signed or
yeah,
being a session musician or a musician for hire. beat maker. So that's really cool, and I feel like you're already starting to do that in Toccoa and just in the
Thank you.
surrounding area as well. You know, like you're opening
Yeah.
up the music scene in Georgia outside of just Atlanta, which is where like the big hub has been up to this point. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, and one of the things that I think helps with this is that you guys are really unique as far as I'm concerned. Like when I went
Mhm.
to record with you guys, we actually went and looked for at a few different places, and your place wasn't just like a studio. It was the whole thing was such an experience, really. Like the
Thank
way of
you.
like the first thing that I noticed when we came up there was, first of all, it was a small establishment, but it was so personal. Everything about this artistic
Yeah.
space was very welcoming, very, like I said, personal. The lights and the art and the every all the you when you took us on a tour throughout the place, and each room felt like it had like a personality to it
Yeah.
almost. Then like when we went in to record and I would do like vocals, we went into like a little booth and it was like kind of dimly lit, and it kind of the atmosphere of the entire place was super unique, and I feel like
Thank you.
it helps spark artistic thought, I guess, or
Oh
growth.
yeah.
Really, it was just such a how did you cultivate such a interesting artistic space,
Mm.
and what made you think of that? Because I've been to other, I've been working in the entertainment industry, not for very long, but for most of the work that I've done, that's where it's been.
Right.
And
Right.
never really before have I seen stuff like that. What gave you the idea for that?
So every studio that I've ever been in, they focused on professionalism. And like I get it, I understand there has to be some form of level of professionalism. Um, but at the same time, with me being like I'm also an artist, and if I get into a an atmosphere that is too professional, I can't flow. I know every artist is different, but with me being in a studio with different kinds of artists, different genres, that was the same across the board. So like if an artist was in there, they struggled focusing in if it was too professional. But then there's also that feeling of like if it's too laid back, you're not going to focus at all.
That's true.
Um,
Yep. I feel like you
so
guys had a
like,
good balance
oh, thank
when
you,
I
thank
went.
you. That's kind of where my brain was for whenever I was thinking of every single room. It's like we have the writing lounge. That is a very comfortable yet professional feeling room. As far as like if an artist were to sit down in that room, they were gonna want to grab a cup of coffee, a pen and paper, and like a guitar and sit and write. And the spaceship where the engineers do their work, it is a super laid back, comfy feeling, but the emotion of the room is engaging enough to where everyone stays focused. Um,
It's just interesting because I
so
would have never thought of any of those things that you're like, yeah, a lot of thought went into it and it showed.
yes, yes, a lot.
Uh,
But then there was also, like I mentioned earlier, I'm in a small town, Toccoa. Around here, there's like on like a spiritual side, there's like a spirit of poverty just like hovering over the city. Like everybody just feels broke and poor, which rubs off on all the buildings, and everything just looks like crap, you know. And I really wanted to be this space that pressured everybody else into upgrading their facilities and like get the place looking good. Because at the end of the day, I own this building, right?
hmm
And if I own this building and this business, why wouldn't I want it to look the best that it can possibly look? And I want that mindset to rub off on everybody else in the city. So that also played a role in the way that it looks.
I love that. You talked about big picture stuff. I love how you are and your entire team are creating this like hub of activity almost in
Mm.
Toccoa. It's awesome. Um, so you mentioned that you play. Did you say 13 instruments?
Yeah, I think it's 13. Yeah.
13, around 13 instruments. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have your own music? Like, have you released a
Yeah,
large amount of music?
yeah. I
Any
do.
anything that you're particularly proud of that you'd want to
Mm,
talk about, or do you have something that's coming out maybe in the future that you're planning on,
yeah, for
sharing?
sure. So I released a single at the beginning of this year, 2021. It's called Fine. Hold me closer, never leave me here again, again. I'm really proud of that one. Um, Obviously, you're a fellow artist. We're our own worst critic.
Yep.
So there's obviously things in every song, even in the final product, where we're just like, I could have done that better. Um, but I am very proud of that. Anything before Fine kind of sucks, so don't go listen to that. Because I didn't have the resources I have now. Um,
Yeah.
to record. Like the content is good, but the quality sucks. That's just the way it is. Um, but yeah, so I've got Fine, Mental, and then I also have
Mental
a
was
song
very interesting.
dropping. Oh, thank you,
Yeah, I
thank
liked
you,
Mental.
thank you. Um, I have a song dropping on Friday. Holy crap! Today's Thursday. Oh, it drops at midnight.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh
Okay.
shoot,
Okay.
that's
That's
great.
exciting.
Oh yeah, in
That's
12
perfect.
hours. That's great from this moment.
So,
Um,
can you give me like, is there a way people can pre-save it or go listen to it right when it drops so that I could like link it in the
yeah, yeah.
under the video?
Um,
All right, just
it's
yeah.
gonna be everywhere.
Okay,
iTunes,
awesome,
Spotify, Tidal, Pandora, everywhere.
awesome.
Um, so yeah, it's called Into the World, and it's actually the first song that we're dropping on our new record label that
Oh
we just
yeah,
started
yeah.
Monday.
Um, Speaking of that, recently you posted on social media that you guys were starting a record label. So how is
Yeah.
that? How has that been going? Like, is it? First of all, was it hard to do? Like, was it hard? Was there a bunch of like legal stuff involved that was difficult? Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. um.
Yes.
And so where was the move from being a recording studio to also like creating the Diamond Studios record label? Like, was there a significant jump there? Or was that like a you always kind of planned on doing that?
I always planned on it. I wasn't necessarily sure if the hub was going to be here in Toccoa. But once we found out that there was enough talent and enough diversity of talent for us to do it, we pulled the trigger. Um, but yeah,
You
it's
mentioned
been.
sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you mentioned that like I remember when I first started talking to you guys, you mentioned that the what you just said, the diversity of artists, like was it different than what you expected? Like what was the reality versus the expectations of like who would be coming in to record and what like genres they would be recording in, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It was complete opposite of what we thought it was going to be. So growing up here, it's a good southern country town, and everything like town wise, like events, um, everything that they book is like bluegrass and country for like live bands and stuff. So I was honestly expecting to record a lot of country and bluegrass,
Yeah.
but we opened up and there's a heavy, really heavy and saturated rap game, R&B and pop game here. They've just been like
Unable to
suffocating their
yeah.
talents this whole time. Yeah,
Wow, man. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's awesome.
Um so bringing it back to the label, are you
Mhm.
so do you have like have you signed a bunch of artists yet or are you like
Mhm.
slowly working on that or actually
Yeah,
on a related
so
note, what do with no ulterior motives behind the question, what do artists need to do to
right.
get signed by you guys?
No ulterior motives. I love it. Um, so for question one, officially signed artist, The only one that's officially signed is myself, and then tomorrow we're signing another one of our engineers, and then tomorrow we're also signing our first hip hop artist, which we'll announce all of that on social media. And
Yep.
then this evening, I have a meeting with a local alternative band.
Ooh.
Um, so we're
Ooh.
gonna go over the contract. And this is another thing about the label. So we have our contract drawn up, and even though we have our contract drawn up, I want it to, I want our label to cater to the artist. So before an artist signs to us, they're going to sit down, they're going to go over that contract, and if they don't like something about it, then if we can change it, we'll change it. I really want what's best for the artist, and then obviously it has to benefit us as a company as well.
Of course.
Because if we're not open, then they don't have a
Of
label.
course. Yep.
But yeah, so we're doing things totally different
I
than
love
what a
I
normal
love
industry.
how accommodating you guys are. How you're kind of the artist's place to go. You know, like you're like you
Thank
said,
you. Yeah,
you're kind of Diamond Studios is a recording studio and place where you can get lessons and record label by artists for artists with
mm,
artists in mind. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's so streamlined, and you and your team have this like dual sense of being uh business people, and
yeah,
knowing and understanding the industry, while also having walked on the other side of that and being artists. And because of
yeah.
your like kind of combined knowledge knowledge sets, you're able to really cater so well to the needs of the community, which is just really
Thank
cool.
you,
I love it.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. It's really exciting. So going back to your second question, as far as what the artists need to do to be signed, um, so number one, um, we are signing artists that record here, um, simply because I am, I'm a big picture observer. So whenever artists record here, I'm kind of letting all the secrets out of the bag. But whenever artists record here, even if I'm not running the session, I'm I'm watching. Our engineers are watching, and it's about the work that they put in. So if they come in, um, they're they're pretty focused on what they want, and they're pretty versatile as far as like I have a whole video about it on our Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like we're looking for work ethic. Basically, people we can rely on as far
Sure.
as like they can come in and balance the life and the studio life at the same time, which is it's hard to do. It really is. But yeah, there's one major key thing that I'm missing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not taking any kind of applications on social media or anything like that. We are a very, very hands-on um, record label, very hands-on studio. I want to take the knowledge that I've learned, especially about like art protection and legal stuff. This is a big one, and like invest into other artists with it. So like we're very hands-on, so they have to be here in person, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Are you guys planning on? So you've done like a record label and lessons. Are you planning on focusing on those aspects, or are you gonna like? Are there more things that you're gonna try to tie into? What's your? So you said you're a big. You said you're a big picture person. What is the big
Yeah.
picture of Diamond Studios? If you if you want to disclose that information?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll say what I can.
Okay. Of
Because like it's a big picture, obviously.
course.
So like we're here in Toccoa. We currently offer videography, photography, 6 kinds of lessons, and then artist consultations, production workshops, and obviously music recording. Um, and then now we just extended off into the record label portion of stuff. So now we're going to be offering live gigs, and help with merch, how to make money, all that good jazz. So we've got all of that going on. Our next step, and this is something we're currently working on, and it's actually supposed to happen this month, but we'll see what happens. As far as we've got to make sure lessons can pull, like on a business portion, lessons have to be able to pull their weight for us to do this. But we want to take lessons, because right now they're housed in the same building that our recording studio is in. So we want to take lessons, and I always say it in like a really aggressive tone, but I mean it in a positive way. We want to take lessons and get them out of here. Put them in
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have another building that we've already got approved for like renting and all that good stuff. So
Nice.
We want to get them into another building so that we can have the recording studio 100% of the time, 24/7, all the time. And then that will free up a whole nother room upstairs for our videographer and photographer to move in and really start editing and putting forth the work for that. And then in the future, we'll take him and put him in his own space. We're looking for more like a warehouse type place where we can have green screen, white screen, blue screen, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome for like videos and stuff. That's so cool,
exactly.
man. That's perfect. That's the next step, is moving in that direction, which is so important.
Yes.
Like right now in the current climate, like it's not even really financially viable for small artists to just release albums anymore. Like you have to have single after single after single lined up with videos that are, interesting and engaging, and so it's awesome that you guys are doing that.
Thank you.
This question's a little bit different, but what are some of the craziest experiences that you've had since you started, like in the artistic space, or like people who've come in and they've like blown your mind, or like, I remember when I was with you the first time, and you mentioned like someone came in with like some very interesting instruments, and just
yeah. It's that has become a very common occurrence. People come in with stuff that I've never heard of, or like I've heard of but never really had the chance to play with. I think there's a lot of crazy things, but I like to stay on the positive side of things. As far as craziness goes, we had actually, I don't know if she's released the single yet, but we had an artist come in. Her name was Danielle, and she came in. She had never recorded. She had never professionally sang in front of anybody. She had never even written a song before.
Wow.
So yeah, and I didn't know this until she got in here and we started like running her session. But she only booked, I believe it was 3 hours. So she booked 3 hours, and within that time, she really found herself. So never had any experience in any of it. She came in, sat down on the couch, and I turned around and I was like, all right, where do you want to start? And she was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I was like, what? Like, you don't have like instrumentals, you don't have an idea? She was like, I have no idea. I was like, okay, all right, well, let's go.
Let's brainstorm.
So I spent I just knocked a box of tissues off my table. So I spent like 5-10 minutes explaining like how it could go, how it could work. And we just got to work. And she left the studio with a completely done song with a rough mix and master.
Wow.
And yeah. So like she found her niche for sure. So like watching someone who knew they wanted to be involved with music but had no idea what they were doing, watching them completely go from like a blank canvas to like actually taking shape. It's amazing. It's
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
so cool that you like got to witness something like that, you know?
it's great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. A lot of times, I've got this smaller YouTube channel, and it's mostly music related. And a lot of times, I'll get comments from people saying that music today is not as good. That music today
Mm.
sucks, or that there's nothing worth listening to today, or nothing to be excited about. I'm assuming you disagree, correct?
I mean, this is a really fun question, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Um, I agree, yet I disagree.
Okay.
Um, so there's a portion of I do think there's a sense of lack of creativity. Um,
In like the
some
big industry area
yes,
right now, yes, I would
yes,
agree with that. Yes, there is.
yes. Because people are starting to like go back and take songs that have already been done, but no one knows they've been done, and they just redo them.
Reuse them. Yep.
Um, yeah. Now, certainly, there's a level of talent that is there, but there's definitely not as much effort that goes into like that versus creating a song from scratch.
There's a lot of the biggest artists right now, or the biggest production companies, just taking in so these big companies taking in all these artists and just channeling them through where other people kind of write their songs for them and sample music that's already come out
Yeah.
and put out the same like kind of trap beats over and over and over
Yeah.
again to mix with the songs. Yeah. But in the area that you're specifically like recording in right now, like, and you're witnessing, I guess,
Mm,
creativity, would you ever say that music is dead?
no.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think I think music is just like everything else as far as like time goes. Like, and what I mean by that is like you had a certain style of music back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and like for every decade it just continues to evolve. um and now we're seeing a reverse to where like we're going back to like an 80s feel, um type timeline. But I don't think music necessarily is getting worse. I just think it's evolving with time because there's a totally new generation, um, like behind us. Like, yeah, we're young. How old are you?
I just turned 18.
18. Yeah, okay. So we're not far apart in age. So like we're young, and the music that we listen to um might make us not so much a fan of like the music that's coming out now. But the younger generation that's under us is loving it, you know?
Yeah, yep.
So it's just evolving with time. That's the only thing. And especially in our industry, like in the music industry, it's the same with fashion as well. If you don't learn to evolve with it, then you become outdated very quickly. Um, and the best way I found to do that is to find something within those genres or within that style to appreciate. um
Yes, yep.
you might not like the overall product, but you can definitely appreciate something within it.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Appreciate that little, discourse on the state of the
Yeah.
industry right now.
Yeah.
This next question determines a lot about everything. Who is the youngest Kardashian?
Dude, I don't even know.
Thank you. Me neither. Finally, what do you think will be? So you said you're planning on going into um, trying to get like a new space for recording videos,
Yeah.
and moving lessons out. What do you think are? Do you have a idea of a timeline for the for the near future? Like, do you have any rundown on what's next for Diamond Studios and how you're planning on taking everything that you've already taken so far in the right direction to the next level, which is you know, you guys have been doing that since you started, and it's only been a
Yeah.
year, and you guys have already grown like exponentially so much, and it's crazy to
Yeah.
witness.
Yeah. I have or let me rephrase that. I had a 5-year plan for like where I wanted to be um as far as a company goes. And we are currently about 3 years ahead of schedule.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. But it goes back to our mission as far as like flipping the perspective of a whole community by achieving the impossible. Um, so all within a year, like I've been able to take a vision and make it something physical and like real. Um, but then not only it's not just me, like I've got friends and like we call them family. Um, but we literally call them Diamond Fam members, which is normal companies say employees, Diamond Fam members. So like we've been able to take this business and scale it in such a way that we just purchased the building that we're in. We went from renting to buying it in a year, and we've done that, and then started the record label, and now we're looking to branch out and like move things out of this building and into more buildings. It's like we're currently like 2-3 years ahead of schedule. So as far as like a timeline, so within that original 5-year plan, um, we definitely wanted to be in more than one state, um,
Mm.
more than 2 states.
So you'll set up
Um,
multiple other locations in other places.
yes,
Will you remain based in Toccoa, or are you gonna move?
I think so.
You think
Yeah,
so? Okay.
my goal is to, I don't know, man. Since we opened business, I have just like wanted to adopt Toccoa and like give them my mentality and be like, hey, you have a great town here. You got great people. Just change your mentality and grow. Um, so I want to force their hand. Like I want to force them to grow and be better.
And
Um,
you're originally from there, right? Or
yeah,
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 yeah. Okay, cool, cool.
yeah. Born and raised right here. Um, so what's the timeline on when this video will come out?
As soon as possible. Like, hopefully, if like you said, your song's coming out tonight, then it would be
Yeah.
awesome if I could get it out today. And I
Oh,
just have
shoot.
to
Okay.
edit a little bit, and I'll try to do that. So
Okay. Cool.
yeah, if
Okay.
that's my goal.
Cool. So like, there's certain things that I want to do. I want to run for city commissioner. Um,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. This coming next election. Um, and like so like there's things on the side that I want to do to kind of help Toccoa grow. So I do think we'll stay based in Toccoa and hope that Toccoa just like adapts and changes
So you're
and grows with us.
would you consider yourself more of a music person or more of a business person? Because it sounds that
Mhm.
sounds like your ultimate like your personal goals lie even farther than just that's
Mm.
crazy, man. That's awesome. So you're gonna
Thank you.
try to
Thank
run
you.
for wow,
Yeah, yeah,
that's so cool, man.
yeah.
Wow.
Dang. I do I started out strictly music person. Um, I learned music naturally, like it's just something my brain comprehends very well. Um, just because of the freedom that's in it. Not like if I'm forced to do something, I don't do well with it. Um, but no, I do enjoy the freedom that music allows, and I am a natural music person. But I thoroughly enjoy the business side of things. Like whenever this is so stupid now that I'm saying it. With the record label stuff, having to go through and like read these contracts, and read all these massive words that you have to Google what the meaning are for half of them. As I thoroughly enjoy it. Like I love taking like I guess it's always been there, like the big picture and
Yeah.
like moving the chess pieces around so that if I move here, it benefits this in some way, but this also benefits that. Um,
You look ahead and look at it, man. I love your
yes,
mentality, and it's one of the
yes,
things that really like when we went to record with you guys, my intention was to try and record a song, and that was it,
yeah,
you know, but it's just the interaction just with, and it was only one time, you know, like I intend to
Right,
come
right.
back as soon as possible, but so far haven't been able to do that yet. But you know, just the one time, just the impression that the place and your, I guess, your work ethic and your like everything about your personality and just the way that you seemed super ambitious and were just, yeah, everything about everything really drew me in and made me want to come back. You know, it makes me want to come back multiple times. It makes me want to say, all right, this is the place. This is the place that I
Yeah.
record at, you know? And following you guys on social media and seeing everything that you have been doing with the making concerts, with the recent, you know, being able to book the Harvest Festival, you know, the making a record label and signing people, everything that you've been doing is just incredible to me. And
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I
Are
love it.
there
I
are
love
there
it.
any things that you'd want to say before we kind of wrap it up, or
Um, I mean, number one, I wanna say thank you to you for.
no
I
problem?
mean, you took almost an hour of your life to talk about my business. Like that's freaking amazing. I appreciate that more than you know. But that it does. It means the world that that we're inspiring other people. It genuinely means a lot.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, man,
so
you're definitely doing that.
thank you, thank you. To anybody that is like made it this far through the video, um, thank you so much for committing to that. And
Yes.
I want you to take that same commitment that you committed to this video and put it towards anything that you want to do in life. Hang in there, stick with it, push forward, do your thing. Um, if you have big dreams, you just need to know that it's more than likely it's not going to be easy, and you need to realize that you might feel alone, or you might be lucky to have friends around you. But I want you to stick with it. Stay true to your dreams. Don't compromise anything because you know what's best for you. And just do me a favor. I might not know you, but stay with it. Because at the end of the day, wherever you land is going to be a better place because of you and your dreams and your visions. So stay true to it.
I feel like you could be a motivational speaker too.
Oh, hey, I'm down for it. I
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
actually have there's a school wanting me to come do some kind of business talk, but they are deciding still because I don't have a college degree and they don't think it looks good. If someone that is like semi-successful comes in and they're like, I don't have education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you need to get the college's money. You know, you need to get funnel more people into them.
Yeah, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time
Absolutely.
to do this.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to talk about Toccoa Studios, I'm sorry, Diamond Studios, ever since I recorded with you guys. I've been wanting to talk about everything you've been doing because I saw that
Yeah.
you've been like interviewing artists. You did like a, what was it, like a freestyle competition recently? You just do so many cool, creative, just
Yeah.
little interesting like events and stuff, and I really love the community you've cultivated. So
Thank
I
you.
wanted
Thank
to
you.
put a light on it in any way that I could. So yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. And I will put links to uh, all types of stuff in the description. What are some links that they can expect to find, Nathan? Like, what are some of the things
Mm.
that, like, maybe if there's anyone in Atlanta, in like Georgia, who would want to record with you guys because of an awesome
Yeah.
studio you are, and then also social media stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you my Instagram, Facebook, our website.
The
And
website,
then
yep.
also for my personal stuff, I'll send you like a Spotify and Apple Music link.
Awesome. So all that will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you all soon. Deathstroke 9 out.